episode of Inside the Mind, the official podcast of Missouri S&T Athletics. Patrick Murphy here again as we get ready for the second episode of the new year. Two great guests stopping by today. Got some great conversations coming up. But before we get to those, I want to recap the events from last week, starting with the Missouri S&T women's basketball team.
In action just once last week,
as their Thursday evening contest with UIndy was canceled due to COVID-19 protocols within the Greyhound program. Certainly want to wish UIndy all the best. Hopefully they're over that and can return to the court soon. So they were in action just once this past week. Saturday afternoon at UMSL against the Tritons. S&T experienced some shooting woes over the course of the afternoon, while UMSL just about shot the lights out of the Mark Twain building, went 50% from the floor, 46% from three as they picked up a 74-39 win. Alex Kerr and Laura Rodriguez led the Miners with 11 points each on 4 of 9 and 4 of 8 shooting respectively, with Kerr pulling down a team-high 4 rebounds, while freshman Addison Kent had one of her best games of the season, coming off the bench to score 5 points on 2 of 3 shooting. Coming up this week, it's a busy stretch for Kira Carter's club. They've got 3 games in 5 days, starting this Thursday at home against Truman State, looking to snap the Bulldogs' 5-game winning streak as they have won their last 4 GLVC games. And also at home this weekend for round 2 against William Jewell. Those two teams met in December back to one of the first games of GLVC play, with S&T picking up a 74-62 win in Liberty, as 4 players finished that game in double figures, led by Rodriguez with 17, and joined by Kristen Keys and Aaron Pewitt, who each had 13, while freshman Caitlin Roberts came off the bench that evening with 12 points. After those 2 games at home, S&T will close out that stretch with a trip to the Gem City to take on Quincy on Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day in this season's lone matchup against the Hawks. On the men's side of things, Bill Walker's club was in action twice last week, opening things up Thursday evening at Gibson Arena against UIndy as they look to extend their 4-game winning streak. It was a 1-point contest at the half, but the Greyhounds outscored the Miners 42-26 in the second half to pull away 78-61. Hampton transfer Saheem Anthony had his best game as a Miner, registering his 4th double-figure outing of the season with 17 points on 6 of 8 shooting, including 5 of 7 from 3, while Colorado transfer Alex Strouting scored 15 points for the second time this season, also on 6 of 8 shooting. Miners looked to rebound on Saturday afternoon at UMSL and played the Tritons close through much of the first half, and played them to a draw in the second half, but were unable to overcome an 11-point halftime deficit, falling 83-72. Julian Smith bounced back from his off night Thursday to score 22 points on 6 of 14 shooting, while Caden Froby scored 16 on 5 of 8 shooting with 5 rebounds, while Mohamedou Kama-Kamara had one of his best games as a Miner, scoring 11 points on 5 of 8 from the field with 4 rebounds and 2 blocks. Looking ahead, the men will also be busy this week with games against Truman State at 7:30 Thursday evening at Gibson Arena. While they look to bounce back against William Jewell in that second matchup of the season, the Miners fell on December 2nd late 81-77 to the Cardinals. Julian Smith dropped 26 in that game on 8 of 16 shooting, with Kevin Lagarde going for 21 off the bench on 8 of 13, with Caden Froby also adding 14 in that game. The weekend wraps up again with a trip to Quincy on Monday on MLK Day with a 7:30 p.m. tip-off. Also looking ahead this week, the Missouri S&T swim team will be back in the pool for the first time in the new year as they host Truman State in a dual meet at 5 p.m. as the first of 2 meets they will have before the GLVC Championships on February 9th. Pivoting back to basketball for just a moment, all games conference-wide on Monday, January 17th, will hear Lift Every Voice and Sing, played prior to the national anthem, as a part of an initiative from the GLVC's Diversity and Inclusion Committee to commemorate Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day, as the GLVC and all member schools stand as one to show support and recognition for marginalized communities and continue to make efforts to listen, learn, lead, and love. Also coming up this month is D2CCA, D2ADA, P2R Officials Appreciation Week. A lot of letters right there. January 24th to 30th, as we look to recognize a very important part of the game that is often overlooked and underappreciated. Officials devote tremendous amounts of time and effort and dedication to their sports and the student-athletes competing in them, and their commitment to a safe, fair, and competitive contest is a critical part of the student-athlete experience. So we want to thank them for everything they do and show our support for them, not just during Officials Appreciation Week, but also all the time. All right. Housekeeping items out of the way today. Time to get to our first guest. She began her collegiate playing career at Oakland University before spending a season at Wabash Valley College and spent her final 2 seasons at Coastal Carolina, where she played 55 games for the Chanticleers before professionally playing in the Czech Republic's first division for BK Lokomotiva. She began coaching with stops at Thomas College and Wabash Valley before also making stops at the Division I level at Milwaukee and Sam Houston State. Was previously an assistant here at Missouri S&T during the 2016-2017 season. Now in her second season as the head coach, please welcome Kira Carter to the show. Kira, good morning. Thanks for stopping by. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning. Thank you for having us on today, myself, and then we have another guest coming. Excited to be here and chat with you today.
Yeah, it's awesome to have you on the show. I know we had Bill and Julian on last week talking some men's basketball. Excited to talk about your team and everything they got going on this season. So we'll just kind of jump right into it. Getting ready to enter a busy stretch of the schedule. January is a pretty busy month overall, but 3 games coming up in 5 days, starting Thursday through Monday, as we're well into conference play now. That's all we got left on the schedule. What's the outlook for this week with the games against Truman, William, Jewell, and Quincy?
It's go time. As you said, we have a lot going on just for the rest of the season. All conference play. The next 2 months, it's crazy. It's like a month and a half left of the season. We have a lot to cram in there. So with Truman coming up, they're pretty tough. I think they're probably top 3 or 4 in the conference, just based on how they look on film and some of the opponents they've played already. So it'll certainly be a challenge for us, but it's nice to have them in our home gym. We went over there last year and competed pretty well against them. But they've got a lot of weapons on their team. They've got some strong post play. They've got I think she's an All-American, and Hannah Billinger on the team, number 13. Leading scorer on their team, leading assist player on their team as well. And they've got some other good shooters on their team. So several weapons on the team that we're going to have to try to contain a little bit. I won't say we'll be able to stop them, but you always want to make good players work harder to get their shots off. But it's a good opportunity for us. We had a battle against UMSL, as you mentioned before. Didn't play too well or to the best of our abilities in that game. So we're excited for the opportunity to kind of redeem ourselves and to compete and play better against a tough opponent.
Yeah, and then obviously, you got round 2 coming up against Jewell Saturday afternoon. Went over to their place, picked up a win. Anytime you can pick up a win on the road, especially in this league, that's a big deal. And then you get another road opportunity Monday evening against Quincy in the lone matchup with them this year.
Yeah, we look at one game at a time, and obviously we're aware of those things as we have to plan and schedule things like that. But yeah, Jewell, they've been, they're having a down year, having a tough season, but they're going to catch somebody off guard. They've got young players, and we just hope it's not going to be us. We hope we come right, we handle our business here on our home gym. And then, taking the road to Quincy, they've got a new head coach this year, and they're playing a little bit more inspired and motivated than the last previous years. Not a knock against the previous coach or anything like that, but just sometimes when you have new energy in the building, it creates new energy amongst your program. So they're playing a little bit different style this year, and they're playing with more energy. So as you said, everything on the road in this league is tough. So, but definitely good opportunities this week, and we definitely have some winnable games on the schedule this week.
Absolutely. No, looking forward to seeing you guys back at home for the first time in the new year. Was looking forward to that last Thursday, but like I said, hope everything's going well with you, Indy, and everything in their program. 11 games into the season so far. How do you think things have gone so far, and how has this group progressed since November?
It's been up and down, in different ways. We're still looking to have some consistency, but there's some moments that are super encouraging where we're playing really well. Our defense is firing away as far as all the right rotations, making good rebounds, box outs. And then there's times where we kind of slip up and we haven't been super consistent, and that's really appeared in the games that we've lost. And similar with our offense too. There's times where we're moving the ball really well, making a lot of passes, getting touches from post players, guards, and having a variation in our scoring. And there's been times where we're not able to get as good of a flow. So we're still seeking kind of that consistency. But overall, I think we're experiencing a lot of growth, because even in the moments that don't go well, we're definitely using those as opportunities to learn. We're watching film, discussing different things amongst our team as far as what can we do better as teammates and as coaches and things of that nature. So my overall outlook is that we're experiencing a lot of growth right now, and I'm encouraged by that because even looking at the UMSL game, we spent a lot of time on that film and talking about it as a team yesterday, and the things we didn't do well, um, they're not skill things. There's things like boxing out, like kind of effort plays, making better passes, being more supportive of each other, and getting open for the ball. So I think the things that we need to improve on, they're very doable. I think we're all capable to change those things that we need to improve on. So that's very encouraging. It's not like we don't have enough talent. It's not like we're not running the right types of stuff. We just have to be a little bit sharp with the things we're doing and be more consistent with that.
Absolutely. There's definitely been some great moments this year. Obviously, you had the big record-setting win opening night against Blackburn, most points scored in a game in program history, hung with a really good then number 3, now number 1 Drury team. Definitely gave them a run for their money, kind of made them sweat things out. Had that game against Rockhurst where that went down to the wire, and then obviously picked up some good wins to close out, December against William Woods and it was Westminster.
Culver Stockton.
Yeah,
the men had Westminster.
Men had Westminster. A lot of games in a short period of time, but definitely been some good things this season, and definitely had some people really stand out as far as production wise, and being able to come in and fill roles right away this year.
Yeah, certainly. And one thing off the court I do want to kind of shout our team out for is we had the best GPA in the athletic department. That's saying a lot here at Missouri S&T. We had our student athletes are amazing here, but a 3.69 GPA. We're excited. We topped the swimmers because usually the swimmers are pretty smart. Swimmers, golf team, the runners, they're all pretty smart. So there's some high GPAs out there for that first semester, but our girls absolutely crushed it, and I think that says a lot. We've got grad students on the team, so their classes are a little bit different, maybe some evening courses. We've got 6 freshmen, so college is a little new for them, some tougher classes. So I definitely want to give a big shout out to our team for handling their business off the court. That takes a lot of commitment. It's not easy at all, and as an alum here yourself, the types of classes that you go through here.
Yeah, no, it's some of the athletes here, I think, have to be some of the best students here. They're not necessarily the ones who are graduating in 3 years, although some do graduate early. There's always some folks that come in here and, graduate early just because they bring in a lot from high school. But, being able to carry the academic load here and still be able to go out and, put in 40, 50 hours a week, playing a collegiate sport, it's a testament to the kind of people that come to school here, and a testament to just the student athletes as a whole here at S&T.
Yeah, certainly. And I'll get back to the question you kind of alluded to. Sorry, I had to put that in there a little bit.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But yeah, as far as just coming in ready to play, like I said, just with the academics, we have a lot of freshmen on the team, and we've had 3 freshmen that have really been able to kind of show themselves a little bit early on in the season with, Caitlin Roberts. As we know, we didn't have Alex the first few games, and so she really stepped in, and we threw her in the fire, and she did pretty well.
Answered the bell, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So it's nice, and now she's not starting. It's not that she's not capable, but, she's certainly a very reliable reserve, and we're going to have them out together. And then, as you mentioned, Addison Kent had a pretty good game the other night, and she's going to be a shooter for us, but also she's a hustler, she's a scrapper, and she plays with some good heart. So that's encouraging for our future. And then, staying with our young players, Aaron and Jada they were thrown into the fire last year as freshmen, so they're still,
a lot of time
by the COVID year,
Mm-hmm.
they're a freshman, sophomore, however you want to count it this year. So in a lot of ways, we're really young. And then, Michaela Davis, she's one of our veteran players, but she's played out of her 4 years. And so having her back on the court, so if you look at it, we're actually pretty young. We're a lot younger than maybe our age indicates.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, we got Marta Dirk is providing some leadership, and Laura, of course, providing leadership. And we're really glad to have Alex Kerr back with us on the court, not just for her points and averaging a double-double last year, but just for her leadership and her energy that she brings every day on the court. And it just brings us a spark. So, I named a lot of players there, but it is a true team effort.
Mm-hmm.
And you see the teams that are successful in our league, they're not playing 6 and 7 players. They're deep. They can go 10, 11 deep, and they have good cultures about them. So that's what we're working on, and making sure we're staying ready, as you said, and we're putting our players in a position that if they get in the game, hopefully they're ready to contribute. Sorry, that's one of our incoming freshmen right here.
No, it's absolutely. You said building the culture, and then obviously trying to bring in that younger group to, you know, once these older kids get through and everything else, it'll be their time to shine. You already touched on it. I mentioned just a lot of folks are there, but what's it? You've got a really young group and several people that haven't really played a ton at this level, but then you've also got a really old group. You got Marta Dirk back for the 5th year this year. You mentioned Alex, Laura, they've been here 4 years. Kristen Keys been here. Michaela Davis been here but hasn't really played a lot, but she's been through it. What's it like having those older folks around the program to kind of guide and mentor that just such a big group of youngsters this year?
It's a unique blend, because our upperclassmen, they have that game experience and they're game ready. But at the same time, it's like they're still adjusting to the culture that I'm trying to implement. And the freshmen kind of understand the culture in a way, just from being recruited by myself and Van. But it's different when you have to put it into action, So we're trying to get those two ideas to come together. But I think our upperclassmen provide great experience. Like in the Rockhurst game, we're talking about the Sullivan sisters, and like we're doing a scouting report on them and telling them how Daly Sullivan can just score at will. And it sounds good to the underclassmen, but they haven't seen her in action. She's like making contested floaters and things like that. And she's making threes off the dribble and hitting tough shots. And it's like we have to lean on our upperclassmen who have experienced the league for 3, 4, or 5 years, with Marta experiencing all that time. And, I think they offer some poise in there, and they can offer some encouragement to our underclassmen. And there are other underclassmen, they're bringing a lot of energy, whether they're on the bench, whether they're getting in the game for 2-3 minutes. They're trying to bring a lot of energy. So it's been kind of a process to try to mesh those things and try to figure out how those two kind of ends of the spectrum kind of blend together, so that we can continue to grow. So we've definitely been working through that and finding different ways to make those advantages for us.
Yeah, no, and you can see that every night. Whether it's on the home, at home, upstairs, or on the road, wherever you're at. You can always tell that the energy is being brought by whether it's the starters, whether it's the bench. It's always there every night. So. This is your second time around in Rolla. First time you were here, you were an assistant. Now you're in the head coach's chair. What was it that brought you to, what drew you to Missouri S&T to start, and what was it that brought you back, after 3 years?
I think in both situations, just, being completely honest, it's been an opportunity for me to kind of move up in my career. So the first time I was at a junior college, and so to get to experience, scholarship situation, recruiting situation, coaching at a 4-year Division II school, there's a lot of experience to be had there. But what I like about S&T specifically is the academic side of it. There's true student athletes here, and I like that. As much as I love basketball, I've spent my whole life involved in the game of basketball. I'm very passionate about it. I think it's good to have some balance in your life and have some things that you care about in addition to sports, and to learn different lessons. And so I think it's cool with all the programs they have here. Like, we talk about the design teams, and like we've got, I think, 5 girls that are majoring in engineering. We've got pre-med students on our team. Even our business program is a little bit different with a technological background. So I think that stuff is really cool. Like, there's cool stuff that happen on this campus, and it's a cool environment and cool atmosphere that's a little bit unique from other places. So that's one part of it. I think the location is really good for me personally. It's 5 hours from Indianapolis where my family is, so that's nice. And then from a recruiting standpoint, I think you have the opportunity to be successful here. I think you can be successful here. I believe you can be successful here. So when you're looking at jobs and things like that, you don't want to just move to move, or move just to elevate your own career. Like, you want to think that you're going to be successful when you go somewhere. And I think S&T is a place that you can be successful. There's a lot of growth happening here, a lot of growth, especially on the academic side, and that's going to translate over here to the athletic side with resources and funding and things of that nature. So I think there's great potential from the recruiting aspect. the type of students that are drawn here to be successful from an athletic standpoint as well. So I think I hit all your points there.
Yeah, no, and it always feels like there's something going on here too. I know when I was a student here, there was always, things going on campus to improve the student experience and keep continuing the standard of education that this institution's known for. And it's still true to today. They've got the entrance district that's getting ready to go in. There's new construction going to be going in on campus. They've already extended some of the laboratory spaces. I know, the High Bay Lab and Butler Carlton Hall, that was one of the things that got redone. And then obviously the student athlete experience here too. Gibson Arena getting redone, and within the last
It's been like 3-4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
Yep, because my last year here as a student, 6th year. That just tells you how long I was here for. Yeah, that was a great gift from the Gibsons. To be able to really enhance the student athlete experience, especially for the basketball program.
Oh yeah, we've been super grateful for Mr. and Mrs. Gibson. I was here before the locker room got redone, and it was like the floor was like as green as a putting green, or looking like Kermit the Frog or something lived in there. With like the lockers were pretty bad, and had the little like community sink that you see, like the old style Catholic churches and the community style showers. Yep. So it's really nice now, and we're super grateful to the Gibsons. We got a TV in there, nice whiteboard. We've got lockers with lock boxes, outlets. We've been able to revamp in there, and it's something we can truly be proud of. Like we want to be proud of our school, but now it looks like something we can really be proud of. And the gym definitely looks a lot better as well, with kind of the refurbishing to the floor and the paint and the graphics and stuff in the gym. I think it creates a better environment there. We like taking our pictures and everything in there, and it's just fun, and it kind of adds to the experience. And it's like, our student athletes work really hard, and you want to provide them a place where they can be proud of it and where they want to come and work and put in this time and hours. So that's where like facilities matter. They deserve to have the highest level of equipment and things of that nature if we want to perform at a high level. You can say that those things don't matter, but if you look at the landscape of recruiting and things, gear matters, facilities matter. I say like the 2 F's and a G: food, facilities, and gear. If you have those things,
that's the big 3, right?
You can get a long way to get some kids here.
Absolutely. Obviously, last year was kind of anything but ordinary. Especially, I can't imagine what it was like being a first-year head coach, playing in a COVID year, just navigating all the uncertainty and everything, playing in front of a lot of empty gyms. What was that like last year? And how do you think last season kind of helped better prepare you for going into year 2 as a head coach?
I think it was a blessing in a lot of ways. Every first-year head coach, regardless of the year, is going to face a ton of adversity. I came in and we didn't have a full roster, and it was August 1st, so you don't really have a chance to add more players to the roster, so you just kind of rock with what you got. We have to give our kids that were here a ton of credit. They bought in, they stuck with me, they didn't pick me, but they worked hard, and we won 4 games out of 17. It was all conference play. That's tough. And there's games getting canceled left or right in the league. And we had 3 quarantines before we even started the season. So that was challenging. But I think it made us more resilient. In life, you're going to have a lot of adversity. So it's like we were thrown into a ton of adversity, and you have to decide on how you're going to deal with it. Are you going to roll with the punches and take what you got, or are you going to complain about it and be bitter about it and let that hold you up from what you're going to do? So I think in like kind of a really bigger scheme and bigger vision way, it kind of made us more resilient, because, we're kind of dealing with challenges in life, and we're still dealing with some of that now, but now it's kind of a regular thing. Unfortunately, I wish it was a little bit better, and, I wish we could give our student athletes a little bit smoother experience, but hopefully it'll set them up well for life going forward, because as you know, you're going to experience some adversity in life. There's going to be some things that happen that you don't expect. So I think from that standpoint, it's good, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be adversity in the first year. So I was like, just throw me in the fire. Just let's take it all. Take the COVID, take the first year stuff, take the things that come along with COVID, whether it's non-traditional practices, Obviously COVID impacted everyone in the country's budget, so kind of working through those challenges. So made me a better problem solver, and just trying to learn how to deal with different things.
Yeah, no, I remember when I was at Jacksonville last year. I had a first year beach coach and a first year indoor volleyball coach, and I know they both kind of were like, hey, this is kind of treating it almost as like a trial season, just to kind of see what works, what doesn't work. Basically getting a full season in the fall before they even got to play, because we did everything in the spring last year. So I know that's kind of how they looked at it, and I think they really kind of took what they picked up from last year, and that really kind of helped them. Obviously this fall with indoor volleyball, and then I know the beach coach is definitely going to look to make that adjustment this spring. So
I think as a country and throughout the world, we found different ways to do things too. A lot more technology is being used. I think in basketball for sports, there's a lot of time where you were required to give people time off, maybe more than you would want. But I think that can be good. I think you can learn like, all right, maybe we can take a couple of days off here and there, and that's actually more refreshing than just going hard all the time. So things like that, I think there's some things that we learned as coaches too that we can adapt and carry on going forward. And just like, we don't need to practice every single day. Some days a day of rest is a little bit more valuable than a day of practicing. So that's just an example.
no, that's some great insight into what everything was, going through last year, and how that affected you coming into this year, and kind of maybe form some things. I want to wrap up with a fun question for you. What's your favorite basketball memory as a player, and what's been your favorite memory so far as a coach?
Oh, that's tough. As a player, it's tough. You experience a lot of cool things, fun things. It's really tough. I think I'll say the JUCO experience as a whole. For anyone who's been to junior college for any reason at all, it's a unique experience. You're thrown together with people from all walks of life. And so just the bonds and friendships. And I was only there for 1 year. But the bonds and friendships that you form in junior college are so unique, because you're usually in like a small town. You get to know each other on a different level from anybody else. So I think that I really enjoyed that part. I know you asked for one, but I don't know. I think the whole overseas experience is really cool. Just, that's kind of when all of your work and a dream kind of comes to fruition, and see your goals and work for a lifetime up to that point, up until being 22, 23 years old, come together, and, you get to get paid to play basketball, to play a game that I loved in another country and experience another country. So that whole experience is really awesome. And then as a coach, that's challenging, just because every team brings a unique experience and a unique set of memories. I'm gonna give you a couple. I can't narrow it down to one. I was assistant coach at Milwaukee. We played in the WNIT, so that was kind of my first time experiencing like kind of major postseason as a coach. And we had a big win on the road against Northern Iowa, and it was crazy. It was like a movie. Like we shot like I think 50 or 60% from the field. Like we didn't miss. Yeah.
Shot the lights out.
Yeah. So we won a first round game in the WNIT on the road, and then we went and our run finished at Indiana University. But I think that was really cool to experience winning on that level at a solid mid-major level. So that was pretty fun. And I think a lot of the memories at Sam Houston State were really cool, just because we were part of a turnaround culture there. And so just seeing our girls go from – our girls were feeling like losers. You could tell by how they walked around campus and stuff. They didn't feel confident and stuff. And when they started winning games and just the culture kind of changed, just seeing how encouraged they were and their personalities were different. So as a coach, I think it's really cool to see your players have success. Yeah. And so so far, one of my favorite memories here was our first win together against SBU. Like, I'll never forget that one.
You always remember that first win.
Yeah. The first win, the locker room celebration. I think our team was genuinely excited. So I think any coach that's in it for the right reason, they want to see their players be successful. Like I experienced it all those things as a player. And like, now, yeah, I care about winning. It's nice for myself or whatever. But like, I want to see them live out the experience that I had and I enjoyed. I want to see them have joy, like that true, sincere, genuine joy about it. So, anytime you can see your players be successful, I think I feel successful.
I think that's why we're all in this business. We all want to see the student athletes succeed. We all want to see them achieve, and we all want to see them become the best versions of themselves that they can possibly be. That's awesome, Kira. Thanks for sharing all that with us. Thank you so much for stopping by today. Really appreciate you taking time out of your morning to chat with us, and look forward to talking with you again soon.
For sure. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. That's head coach Kira Carter. We'll take a short break and we'll come back on the other side with our second guest on this. Inside the Mind, talking all things Missouri S&T women's basketball today. And our second guest on today's show is one of the most accomplished post players to ever wear the green and gold. She's a 3-time GLVC Player of the Week award winner in her career, a 2-time All-GLVC third-team selection. She was named to the GLVC All-Freshman squad following the 2018-19 season. Currently shooting 65% from the floor of the season, is a 53% career shooter, and has currently scored 955 points and recorded 547 rebounds in 77 career games from St. Louis, Missouri. Number 45, Alex Kerr. Alex, good morning. Welcome to the show. Thanks for stopping by today.
Thanks for having me.
We'll just kind of jump right into it. I know we had a great conversation with Kira that went for a while, but and I know you said you got film coming up, so we'll try to get you to that as quick as we can. 11 games into the season so far. How do you think things have gone for the team, and how do you think things have gone for you, looking at it from an individual perspective?
So for our team, I think each game we improve. We didn't have such a great game against Umsel, but we were able to come in here yesterday and watch the film, see what we need to get better, and have like a really high energy practice and keep growing from there. And personally, I came back from I tore my ACL in March, so I didn't get to play the first few games of this season. And as I was coming back, the time was limited, 2 minutes a quarter, 4 minutes a quarter. But I've just seen myself really grow and become more comfortable, making those aggressive plays and playing with my knee. And it's just been a lot of fun. I've really realized how much I love basketball when I couldn't play,
Yeah, it's anytime you have an injury, you kind of and you can't do anything, you kind of realize just how much you miss something when it kind of gets taken away through nothing. It's not really any fault of your own.
A new appreciation.
Yeah. Looking back, you've been here for 4 years. Looking back at your career to start, what element of your game do you think you've been able to develop and progress the most during your time here in Rolla?
I think when I came in freshman year, I really became more aggressive than I was in high school, and that comes with playing at a collegiate level. But I was really able to play aggressive and make those hard post moves. And another thing is I rebounded in high school, but in college you really need to go after those rebounds if you want to get them. There are some big girls down there in the post, so really boxing out and rebounding has been a big growth area for me.
Yeah, no, and you obviously mentioned the rebounding. 15 career double-doubles so far. That's just a testament to being able to go do some work inside and battle with the other bigs. And there's been plenty of good ones that have come through this league. Really, it's a top to bottom league. And I talk with Julian and Bill, and I've talked with Kira off air about it. It's the GLVC is a tough league, and there's no really easy games. Anything can happen to top to bottom every week.
No easy wins. Gotta work for all of them.
Yeah. Being a student athlete here at Missouri S&T, what's the experience for you been like?
It's been great, honestly. There's so many outlets if you need help in a class that you can, go to get extra tutoring or go to the Student Success Center and figure out how you can manage your time well. And our coaches have really been helpful with that. If some people are struggling, that we'll have like a study session where everybody comes together and just works on homework for a few hours, and we really support each other. And if I've had a class before, I can help out my teammate who's like one of our freshmen is like a freshman biology major, and I'm a senior in biology, so I've been able to help her out with a few questions she's had.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great to see. I remember when I was a student here, it was all about helping each other out, and
Mm-hmm.
if somebody was struggling, maybe kind of trying to show them a different way or how you would think through it, because everybody has their own process to get
Yeah.
from A to B. Jumping back to when you were in high school, what was it about Missouri S&T that made you decide you wanted to attend here as opposed to going somewhere else and playing basketball there?
I love how academically challenging the school was. It's a really well-respected school, so I wanted to make sure I went to a school like that. And also, I remember on my visit, just walking around the campus, it's a smaller campus, but it's so pretty, and you can walk everywhere. And, just a sense of camaraderie that I felt with all the student athletes, with a smaller population. I just really felt like I could see myself being happy here, and I am. So
Yeah, I remember, when I came to visit here as a high schooler, I went through, I looked, I think, at like 5 or 6 other places, and this, I think, was one of the last ones I came to. It was a horrible day for the weather, but like just walking around campus, it just felt like home. It's a small campus, and you really kind of get to know, not just the other athletes, but everybody else in your classes and everything else. And I think it's a really unique. Obviously it happens everywhere, but I feel like there's just something special about those relationships you form while you're a student here.
yeah, and it's been really fun, like walking across campus, and I'll see so many different student athletes. It's cool to see.
I think we just kind of touched on it real quick. Why is this the ideal place to be a student athlete? What is it about S&T that makes this place as special as it is?
Well, I think we really emphasize, or Coach Carter does at least, that grades come first. If we have a test during practice, no problem. Go take your test. You can like leave a little early. It's really academics come first, and then sports. We work hard at both, but we really want to make sure we take care of stuff off the court.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel, and every coach here is the same. You guys had an incredible fall in the classroom. Had the best GPA in the department with a 3.69. So that's just again a testament to the work that y'all been putting in the classroom as well as on the court. I know I asked Julian this when we had him on last week. But when you were growing up, was there a certain player or certain players that you would watch, be it in the NBA or the WNBA, and just kind of gravitate towards, and you're like, I want to be like them? Or was there somebody you tried to model your style of play and your game after?
This might be a controversial answer, but LeBron James. I really love watching him play.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up, I bandwagon fan, whatever team he was on, I'd be like, go Cavaliers, go Lakers. His presence on the court is really profound to me. He can just take over a game and win for his team, and I think he's a really amazing player.
Yeah, no, that's definitely not a bad answer there. The things he's been able to do in his career, and there's definitely been some moments where in your career where you've been able to kind of take over and have that presence and lead the team to a win as well. I know I said you got film coming up, so we'll try to kind of keep things as a little bit short as we can. I do have a question. I want to know this though. How did you end up wearing number 45? Has that always been your number? Is there some significance to that? Was that just like, hey, I'm going to wear 45 when I get to college? Like,
so in high school, my number was 34, but coming into college, Maddie Rayleigh, awesome three-point shooter,
yeah.
She had 34, and the freshmen can't take it from the juniors, so I actually wore 45 on some of my AAU teams. I like the number. It was Michael Jordan's number for a few seasons.
The second time around.
Yeah, second time around. So, I just stuck with that, and I like it. It's pretty. Not a lot of people have 45.
No, it's obviously it's a number you don't really see a ton in basketball, and if you do, normally it's with a post player. But as somebody who's like an equipment guy in a previous life, and hearing just it all, like if people get to pick their number. Because I think it was your freshman year was like right when we got a new set of uniforms.
Yeah.
So obviously getting to pick a new number with a new set of uniforms, I know that's been a thing. But just hearing some of the other stories that have come through here about how people ended up with their jersey numbers it's always kind of something interesting for me.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So, Alex Alex, thanks so much for stopping by. We really appreciate you having you on the show today. Good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you.
I know we got classes getting ready to start back up next week. You said you're a biology major, right?
Yes.
Have you already wrapped up your undergrad? Or are you getting ready to wrap up your undergrad?
So cool thing about Missouri S&T is you can do dual enrollment
Mhm.
programs. So I'm actually working towards my MBA this last semester and next semester, and then I'll finish it up next year during my grad year. So I really only have one more biology class to take next
Okay.
semester. So
I gotcha. Yeah, no, I did. It's
wrapping it up.
yeah, no, it's a great opportunity. I know I did the 2+1. I was a
Mhm.
business major, and then business major, and then I got a master's in IST, and was able to take advantage of that dual enroll program.
It's
I was
really
only
nice.
I was only able to do it for one semester because of
Oh.
where my grades were. But it was still it'd still be able to finish up one degree and also get started on that master's degree. That way you have something extra coming out of here. So definitely a great program to be able to take advantage of. So
Well, thank you for having me.
yeah, thanks for stopping by. We'll let you get off to film. That's senior center Alex Kerr. And be sure to come back out to Gibson Arena this week. Thursday and Saturday as the Miners play host to Truman State and William Jewell. Women will be in action at 5:30 on Thursday, followed by the men at 7:30, and at 1 on Saturday, followed by the men at 3. That'll do it for this episode of Inside the Mind. Be sure to subscribe to this podcast wherever you may be listening and follow along so that you don't miss out on any future conversations. Thank you all so much for listening. Cheers, and as always, go Miners.